When you hear the word evil right now, you most likely picture someone who time skips in Animal Crossing. That seems to be the unforgivable sin on the internet at the moment, but I want to show you something truly deplorable and evil. There's a YouTuber that has made an entire career out of torturing and eating animals alive for their mukbang videos. First of all, mukbangs suck fuck. Sitting on your balls is less painful than watching a full mukbang video. They're absolutely terrible, and she takes it to the next level by making it something diabolical. I can already see in the comment section some of those tough guys, oh, what are you, some kind of pussy vegan? What, you can't handle watching some animals get killed and eaten? I have hit a fucking deer with my truck on the way home, got out, put a bullet in its skull, and then ate it when I got home. You vegan pussy. I get it, you're a real tough guy, for sure. I'm not a vegan and you don't need to be to find the shit she does cruel and just downright ridiculous and just disgusting. Her name is So Young, and what she does on her channel is she buys sea creatures alive and then kills them in the slowest, most inhumane ways possible because she likes to watch them squirm around and put Facebook royalty-free music behind it as a joke. For example, with a squid in particular, she cuts the hood off and then sets the body down, and the body's still alive, the squid is still technically alive, and it's moving around trying to get the fuck away. She'll pour sauce on it and put some goofy music and make some stupid fucking jokes about it. It's terrible stuff. She treats it like it's a Nick Jr. cartoon where she's making these like goofy sounds and goofy YouTuber faces like, that's kind of fucking garbage. That's what she does as the creatures are clinging to the last ounce of life they have. And sometimes she doesn't bother to kill the creatures, like for octopus, she'll just eat them alive straight up. Now, I know there's a lot of people that argue, are sea creatures even alive? Some of them don't have nervous systems, this and that. And yeah, there's a debate to be had there, I suppose, but the creatures she chooses to eat alive are the ones that are well documented in being very much aware and alive. For example, the octopus. Octopus are among the most intelligent creatures we have on the planet. They're up there with dolphins. They have a fully complex nervous system, brain. They have as many neurons as dogs do, and they process pain and information in much the same way a dog does. They're able to remember that kind of information as well. So how does she treat an octopus? Well, by devouring it alive as it tries its best to run the fuck away. Yeah, they're actually alive. It's not like some kind of post-mortem response or anything, and even in the title she makes it well known the octopus are alive and that she's eating them alive. That's the whole draw of the video. If you watch her channel, you watch this content and support it, you suck. You, objectively, you're a piece of shit and you have shitty taste. I guarantee I could find 1,000 scientific reports to corroborate that. It's a fact. You suck. And she is absolutely terrible. I don't even know how this content is allowed on YouTube. This absolutely falls under animal cruelty, by all definitions. Yes, again, there is a debate to be had about all sea creatures being equal in terms of what they can experience, what they can feel, and all that. I get it. But the creatures she chooses are the smartest fucking creatures in the sea. I'm honestly expecting sometime this week she'll release a eating dolphin alive video where she starts at the fucking butthole of the dolphin and just eats up. It's some deplorable shit. What's she gonna do when she runs out of sea creatures to eat alive? Probably resort to cannibalism. I have no idea what's next for the channel. It is absolutely baffling to me. Eating an octopus alive is like eating a fucking dog alive. They're on the same level. She's basically just eating a sea hentai dog. It's fucking crazy how this is even allowed and how she has an audience that supports it and defends her in the comment section. She has fucking simps defending her in the comment section. Have some fucking shame. Even if you set aside morals and ethics, the content itself is fucking atrocious. All she does when she's not torturing and eating animals alive is scream, as, you have goofy cartoon music blasting behind her. So unless you're 8 years old who finds jingling keys comedic because they're loud, I don't know how you could possibly be entertained by anything she does. It's fucking terrible trash.
잠깐만, 오지 마. 괜찮아. 아, 잠깐만.
I think it's pretty clear she makes these videos aimed at a younger demographic. Children, you know, with all this goofy screaming and Facebook sound effect kind of shit. I don't think her target demographic is adults, which makes it even more fucked up to just be coming on here and executing these creatures on camera for kids to laugh at. Even when she does muster enough human decency to at least kill the food she's about to eat, she always makes sure that it puts on a little show for her, like she's the puppeteer and it's the marionette. She'll take the sea creature out of the water, throw it on the floor, and just let it flop around, as you saw with the shark right there. She does that for every single creature she eats. I have not found a single video where she doesn't torture it before she eats it. And yes, again, sometimes she does actually kill them, but a lot of times she just eats them alive.
구독, 좋아요 눌러주세요. 자, 엄마야. 자, 먹어볼게요. 잠깐. 야! 움직이지 마. 맛있겠다.
Yep, she just twists their fucking heads off while they're alive. It's like a Mortal Kombat fatality. How are you supposed to humanely prepare prawns? What's the right way? Well, unsurprisingly, you take a sharp knife and you go from head to tail. It's instant. And there's none of the old neck snapping and head ripping off decapitation kind of shit that she prefers to do. Let's see how she handles a squid.
가만히 있어. 자, 일단 한 마리 손질.
As you can likely imagine, that's the most inhumane way of killing a squid and preparing it. She didn't dress the squid, she fucking mutilated it while it was alive. I'll share with you the proper way of preparing the squid. You start by killing it. Unsurprisingly, you take a sharp knife, or there's even a tool to do it, where you poke it right through its head and you can kill it instantly, so you don't have to worry about stripping its hood off while it's fucking alive. She then poured sauce on the still alive parts of the squid and watched them dance around as a joke. I didn't want to put that in here. It is disgusting. You don't have to be a vegan to think it's disgusting. I'm not, and I think it's just outright one of the most cruel things that YouTube for some reason is allowing, even condoning. She has 3.2 million subscribers. These videos have 18 million, 20 million views. It's sick. I remember a few years ago there was this channel that was dedicated to destroying iPhones, real shitty channel, and in one of his videos, he destroys the iPhone, but he also kills cockroaches around the iPhone, and he got in huge trouble, got taken down by YouTube because of animal cruelty for killing those cockroaches. So what's changed? She's doing something significantly worse than that, and in far more inhumane ways, but she's allowed to continue. She has over 3.2 million subscribers. These views have 20 million views, 50 million views all over the place. They're massive. And I think what she's doing is just disgusting. 100%. And that's about it. So yeah. It's been a little while since I've told this story, so go ahead and hop on my lap here by the fireplace and I'll tell you a tale. As is common with most of my stories I've told on the channel, this takes place during the period of my life where I thought it was cool to be a mysterious anime character. This was like my early years of college. As you can probably imagine, my ability to socialize during this time was absolutely pathetic. Having a conversation with a magic 8-ball would have been more fun and engaging than talking to me back then. Those poor souls that talked to me back then probably instantly regretted it, because having a conversation with old Charlie was like talking to Alexa if she was overdosing on Xanax. It was rough. Why is this important though? Because this is setting the stage for one story I haven't told yet. I've told so many stories when it comes to all of the fucking weird and creepy interactions I've had with women, all my fault of course, just because I was so unbelievably socially inept. Like, it's hard to put into words how bad I was at recognizing social cues and how to be like acceptable in society. I fucking bought one of those fake cigarettes one time. You know that shit that kids would buy from Spencer's when they were like 12? I bought one of those things when I was 18 because I thought it looked cool and I hated real cigarettes. You know how fucking sad that is? I'm surprised I didn't buy one of those colorful propeller hats and started spinning it to try and look cool or something. It was rough. So what I'm saying is, socially, I was the worst thing you could fucking imagine, but it didn't stop me from trying to have conversations with women. I tried to fake confidence, fake it to make it, and all of that shit, and today's story will be in that ballpark. So, this story takes place in a location where all good social interactions take place, at GameStop. So let me take you back to the past when my social interactions sucked ass. This is GameStop 2012, 2011, somewhere in that ballpark. I was, of course, Virgin Boy Charlie, if you can even believe that. Some say I lost my virginity before my dad, but the truth is, I was actually a virgin, embarrassingly enough. And I was doing what all virgins did, using Reddit for some advice. And Reddit is one of the worst places when it comes to seduction and just general advice when it comes to human interaction, because it's the blind leading the blind. The people giving that advice, they have likely never talked to a human being before. They're probably getting all of their social cues the same place I was. Fucking anime. So I was using anime and r/relationship or something, I don't remember what subreddit, and these two things were clashing, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take both of these, do like a little unholy fusion dance, and become this ultra Chad, the product of great advice and great animation. And I was going to channel this and show that, you know, I'm becoming more confident in myself by flirting with girls in public. And I chose my first rodeo to be at GameStop. Before going to GameStop, I had decided that I was going to march into GameStop, right up to the counter to the girl that worked there and call her beautiful right to her face. I was going to look her in the eyes. I was going to say, ma'am, you are fucking beautiful. You are gorgeous. I don't know what I expected to happen next because I didn't have a follow-up. Maybe I was fantasizing like one of those dream scenes where all of a sudden, like an anime, the girl blushes and then she calls out her 3 twin sisters or something, and they all fall in love with me. I don't know. But that was my game plan, and I was hyping myself up. I was like a football player in the locker room before the championship game, headbutting lockers. I put on a necklace, and I never wear a necklace. I found like this old gold necklace from probably when I was a kid, but my neck is still the same size as a kid's, so it still fit. I spiked my hair up real well, fucking drowned it in gel, and I mean drowned it in gel. I looked like a freshly born baby covered in amniotic fluid up there, and I felt like $1,000,000. Today was the day I was going to say to a girl, she is beautiful. So I hop into my Batmobile and I cruise on over to GameStop. I get to the door, I open it, and it's like everything else just melted around me. Time froze, and there she was, behind the desk, the only female employee at this particular GameStop, and she looked miserable. Probably because she's working at a fucking GameStop, but I was gonna make her day better by being the only man in GameStop history with the confidence to say that she was beautiful. You know, I'm sure she doesn't hear that every day from other socially inept fucking slime balls, so I was going to be the first, the trendsetter. Truly a pioneer. So I meandered around a little bit, just making sure I was building up enough confidence, going over the lines in my head. The line I was going to use was when she was done ringing me up, I was going to say, "Thank you, beautiful," and then wait to see her response, see what she says to this, hoping that she wouldn't call the police or have security come tackle me. So, I finally pick out a game, some used game I'm sure, because I was big into used games for a long time. I slam that shit on the counter because I'm ready. She starts by asking me a couple questions. Am I a member of GameStop Power Plus Ultra program? Well, no, I'm not. She's going off script. I wasn't accounting for this. It's freeform now. The dialogue has been all fucked up. I'm getting a little jumbled in my head. I'm getting nervous. I wasn't expecting to be interrogated by her today. I'm not a member of this GameStop program. Would I like to be? Well, shit, would it help my chances with you? I don't know. I'm going through all kinds of scenarios in my head. It's like a visual novel. There's a bunch of different branching paths I could choose from. I'm panicking. I'm breaking down a bit. My composure is starting to falter. There's sweat on my brow and a tickle in my sack. I was not prepared for this at all. She then asked me, do I want my receipt? Another question I wasn't anticipating. Do I say thank you, beautiful now? No, that wouldn't make sense because she asked me a question. I can't just respond with I have to answer the question. Everything's all falling apart at once. It's like Salvador Dali's painting where the clocks are melting. I'm running out of time. I don't know when to say this line. And no, I don't really want this receipt. What am I going to do? Wipe my ass with it? I paid $3 for some garbage used game. I tell her, no, thank you. You keep the receipt. And that's when she says it. A sentence that could dampen the pants of any man, even the strongest men. She says, "Thank you for shopping at GameStop." I freeze. I don't know how to respond. I stand there for what feels like hours, looking at the ground, wondering, is now the time? And then I decide I muster the courage within myself, the strength to go forward. I say, "Thank you, beautiful." I'm still looking at the ground when I say this, because I haven't earned the right to look my GameStop queen in the eyes yet. and then I do what any sane man would do. I ran away. I fucking jogged away. Before she could even, like, actually respond, I started jogging away with the bag in my hand like I just stole the game from Gamestop. But I did hear her say, "Oh." I know for a fact she said "oh" as I turned my back to run away. I ran all the way to my car, hearing that "oh" in my head the entire way there, got in, slammed the door, and I thought to myself, Charlie, you did it. We just made that employee extremely uncomfortable, and man, do I feel like shit about it. It was a good lesson to learn. That was probably already like the 5th or 6th time that lady had been hit on that day by fucking weirdos like me. She probably just up and quit that day. That was probably the last straw right there. I don't know, because I never went back. I was just so goddamn embarrassed about this whole thing, but I do imagine she quit that day. But yeah, I tell you this story in the hopes that people will learn from it. Don't make the same mistakes I did. Don't be a fucking weirdo, and don't, yeah, that's basically it, really. That's about it. So yeah. On the surface, it seems like Batman and I have nothing in common, but nothing could be further from the truth. There is one thing we share, and that is an obsession. Batman is obsessed with justice. I'm obsessed with goofiness. Wherever there is goofiness, I will be there. I'm drawn to it like flies to a porta potty. I can't help myself. If I was one of the founding fathers of the United States of America, the unalienable rights talked about in the Declaration of Independence would have referred to life, liberty, and the pursuit of goofiness. Now, why am I mentioning this? Well, because I have one hell of a story to share with you today that I'm sure all of you are already aware of because it's been memed to death. But I haven't talked about it. And you know what? That just doesn't sit right with me anymore. So let's talk about the massive police scandal that's gone on this week in Tennessee, where 5 officers were fired after it was revealed that it was basically just a fucking porno set at the department. It came out that at least 5 male officers were engaging in sexual relations with a female officer, whom is married, by the way. And they were sending dick pics, taint pics, butthole pics, whatever, all kinds of photos of their genitals, and having sex at the police station on duty, and having girls gone wild type parties. This sounds more like a frat house out of an American Pie movie than it does a department that's supposed to protect and serve the community. The only thing that was being protected was their penises. Maybe. They probably weren't even using condoms. No jimmies. It was probably raw dog. But what they were serving was spaghetti and meatballs. Hold the spaghetti. Just the meatballs. As they were clapping against the cheeks of Officer Megan, whom engaged in many sexual encounters at the department while having a husband. Obviously, that's a pretty horrible thing to do. And it's also very weird that it went on for so long. Just a very weird situation overall. But before I get too deep, there's something else that I think's a little weird. And that's people who don't drink G Fuel. More specifically, they don't drink Divine Peach G Fuel. The most delectable flavor to ever exist. This, I'm pointing in the wrong direction. There we go. But yeah, Divine Peach is the best flavored beverage of all time. It is a fantastic, beautiful energy drink. And there's also a new one right around the corner that you can pre-order now. It's actually a Gundam collab with G Fuel. So they have a new flavor called MS-M31-0N. It's a Gundam style flavor, and it is also very, very good. So use code MOIST for 20% off the collector's box for the new Gundam flavor, or code MOIST for 30% off all G Fuel products. You can also click the link in the description below. Now, back to the topic here. This is a pretty fucked up situation. This is why you've probably been seeing her photo on every single meme or piece of content that refers even lightly to cheating. It's because of this story. There's a lot to unpack here, such as like hot tub parties, which a lot of sex, clearly. But one hotspot was actually at the police department's own gym, where a lot of oral sex seemed to be happening there. So I guess this gym membership came with a happy ending. It sounds like more dick was getting sucked at this gym than at the casting couch. Now, like most people with a soul, when I read this story, my heart broke for the husband in this situation, because not only has he been getting cheated on for such a long time, he got cheated on to such a ridiculous degree that it cost his wife her job, which is obviously a big blow to the household income. But buckle your seatbelts, because this is where the ride gets a little bumpy and very interesting. After all this news broke and the husband found out, he made a statement saying that he supports his wife and will stand by her as they work through this problem in their marriage. I'm not here to opine on that. Whatever makes you happiest, I suppose, but goddamn. Fucking jinkies. Zoinks, Scoob. I'm wishing their marriage the absolute best. I'm sure any day now she will be announcing her OnlyFans, and I'd wager a guess we might see some cameos, guest appearances from the old boys in blue down at the Tennessee police headquarters there that are now also out of a job. But anyway, yeah, just kind of wanted to go over this story a little bit because it doesn't get goofier than that. I've seen a lot of people saying, why should it matter if the department was fucking each other at the headquarters? Sorry, I had to spit because it's such a stupid thing to think. I'll explain it to you. It's because you shouldn't be having sex at work. This doesn't apply to just something like the police department. This applies everywhere. If I found out my local subway workers were mashing pissers in the back, getting the sloppy salami on the clock, I probably would stop going to that subway. I wouldn't really want to go to that spot anymore. It's just not an appropriate time or place to be engaging in coitus. I think that should be pretty obvious. And if you'd still like to fight me on that point, can we at least agree that at the very least it's rude? I think it's just downright rude. Not only the cheating on your husband, that is, I dare say that's a little more than rude, but the fucking while at work, I mean, come on, please, pardon my language, but you've got to be a real jerk, I said it, to be having sexual intercourse while on the clock. That's not okay. I'll say it. All right, and I don't care who heard me say it. So clearly this situation's fucking wild. I'm also just straight up stunned and blown away by how quickly the officers were let go. Usually when there's any kind of scandal or controversy with police officers, they get a paid vacation for like 6 fucking months and then quietly come back. But in this case, since they fucking soiled the sacred ground of the police headquarters with DNA, fucking cum all over the place, they had more DNA in the department's gym than they had in their evidence lockers, I imagine, with all the oral sex going on there. I guess that was a line that was too far. So they cut them off quick. No paid vacations here. Though I do think a couple other officers were suspended. So there was a lot here. They cleaned house with this scandal. They've got a lot of vacancies now. I think they have 11 vacancies after all of this. So this became this like wild web. Kind of like that SpongeBob episode where he keeps like peeling down wallpaper and there's more dirty diapers behind it and it just keeps going. That's what's happened here in this situation, but with sexual relations while at work that they just kept discovering more and more of. But yeah, anyway, just wanted to talk about this a little bit. That's about it. See ya. We've all been duped, bamboozled, smeckledorfed. Not even a word, yet it accurately describes this situation. We have been lied to. Another example that, no matter how convincing some things may appear on the internet, there's a very good chance it's somehow fake. This whole hoopla with Ruby Rose and the obsessed super fan who spent $60,000 on her OnlyFans in a month, and then had all of his text messages leak with Ruby Rose that were just completely unhinged, just lunacy. Turns out all of it was a coordinated marketing effort from an agency that worked in collaboration with Ruby Rose as well as the man portraying Brandon. It's not real. It was all a ruse. And many of us, myself in a big way, fell for it hook, line, and sinker because, man, did they do a great job with it.
I didn't purchase none of her OnlyFans content.
Ruby Rose.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was all a hoax?
I got in the situation where I just went and took a picture with Ruby Rose, right? Like,
okay.
I got paid for it. I didn't know exactly what it was for. I think it was like a promo thing or something or whatever the fuck it was,
I did, in my last video covering this, say that there is a chance that it was all staged because it was so over the top that it may have been used to drive traffic to Ruby Rose's OnlyFans. I at least had an inkling of a suspicion that that was possible, but I really didn't think anyone would ever agree to play the role that this guy did, the obsessed stalker porn addict. And after watching the interview where he blows the lid off of this, it seems he just didn't know the magnitude of it. They kind of kept him in the dark. And he even did get a real fucking tattoo of Ruby Rose's face that is now permanently on the back of his leg. Which, I mean, That's wild dedication. That's method acting that you won't find many classically trained thespians willing to partake in. So they really found a unicorn here with this guy. What a fucking champion to go through with something like that for the sake of driving money to someone that's not him. Now, before fully diving into this complex situation, I want to give a thanks to today's video sponsor. Big thanks to ROG Ally for sponsoring this video. As a fan of ROG, it was a match made in heaven when they asked if I'd be willing to partner with them for their ROG Holiday Advent Calendar, which includes 24 days of giveaways to share the ROG Ally with all of you. The gift of giving. And the ROG Ally can play pretty much every game since it runs Windows 11. It's fully compatible with Steam, Epic, Game Pass, GOG, and more. And it also has a 1080p 120Hz touchscreen panel, so you can tear up Fortnite OG, like absolutely run wild on it, like Matt most likely is behind me. It's lightweight, it's comfortable to hold, great battery life, which means it's easy to game anywhere, so it'll be great for the holidays. Now, ROG gave me a second ally to share with one of you, so all you have to do is comment hashtag 24 days of ROG, and the giveaway will be open for 7 days, and ROG will be announcing their winners on the Instagram page. For more details on the giveaway and to keep up with the 24 days of holiday giveaways, check out the ROG Advent Calendar in the link below. Happy holidays and good luck, and thanks again to ROG Ally for sponsoring. The interview dives into his lore and how he got this role here and how everything kind of played out behind the scenes. So I'm just going to show you a couple of clips from that, as well as explain what made this so much more believable than other attempts at similar things in the past.
And I met up with her. I take this picture. Next day, I'm like the fucking OnlyFans top spender. I knew there was like some kind of thing where there was like, had to do with the OnlyFans top spender shit, but I didn't know what the fuck was going on. So they made it look like I was her top spender, you know?
So he's saying that he was under the impression that he was just going to take this picture with Ruby Rose and they were going to use it for some kind of promo thing, and then he eventually found out that now all of a sudden he's the OnlyFans top spender and now he's famous for being a porn-addicted weirdo creep, and he just didn't know exactly what he was getting into here. Now, something that's super interesting is that even though this guy is coming forward and saying that this was all a bunch of mumbo-jumbo, all a calculated marketing effort, there are still people that refuse to believe it. They're going so deep, and I think it's such a testament to the current landscape of the internet, where even when the truth is being revealed, like fully, people just want to live in a fantasy. So what people have concocted here is that all of this is actually the marketing stunt. This guy really did spend 60 grand and more on Ruby Rose, and he's embarrassed and ashamed of it, so he's lying. He's going on this press tour about it in order to try and clear his name. He really did spend all that money. He's lying. He's just trying to cover up his shame with this fairy tale, and I'm smart enough to not to fall for it with my galaxy brain. And I find that just so fascinating.
So they didn't fill you in on this beforehand? They didn't say, hey, we have this big idea. This is what we're going to do.
So the idea was like, they were like, we're going to use your, I mean, they kind of let me know that I was going to be like this, like one of her like subscribers, I guess, on OnlyFans or something like that, right? I was like, oh, okay, that sounds cool. You know, I didn't know it was going to blow up to this big, huge story. You know, they said it was going to be big. And then, you know, I was like, okay, cool. This is kind of cool, whatever the fuck. I was like, when's money going to start coming in? You know, like I was like, I want some money out of this.
So they gave him just like the very basic rundown without filling him in on exactly how everything was going to play out, and he was expecting to be paid for it, I guess, over time through this deal, and that clearly was never in the cards. He was literally used as like a whoopee cushion for the internet to fart with, like just someone to dunk on and get Ruby Rose's name out there even more. Now, in my last video where I covered this, I said, like, yes, it's possible, it could be fake, but what would be the gain? Why would you fake this? Not only from his perspective, like, why would you take this role, but from Ruby Rose's perspective, because I just can't imagine who sees this story and is like, oh, wow, this is inspiring. I need to donate money to Ruby Rose. Like, I don't see how that works. I don't know how you take this marketing campaign and turn it into new OnlyFans subscribers for Ruby Rose. I guess it must work to some extent, otherwise they wouldn't do it, and I'm sure she's made a lot of money from it, but I just don't really get that thought process. Who watches this porn addict, obsessed stalker fan who doesn't stop sending the creepiest text messages ChatGPT can cook up, and then they're like, maybe I need to try. So then they start sending money to Ruby Rose's OnlyFans because of it. Like, I don't really get it, which is why I didn't think that it was super likely that this was fake. But it was, clearly.
But how are you going to get paid for it? And you're saying that they didn't tell you beforehand that this was going to be the storyline?
Well, I knew there was this OnlyFans and like the person's the top spender, but I didn't know the story was going to come out to be bigger than what the story is now, you know, like where I'm like the obsessive guy who's in love with her. And all
so the
shit.
$60,000 number was fake.
It's a real account, but it's not me.
So he's claiming that the account is real, it just isn't him that did that. Now that's a little interesting because I feel like it's probably just a fake account. Like, I don't think there's anybody out there that actually did genuinely send $60,000 to Ruby Rose. If the account is real and that money did get sent to her, I have no doubt it's her own money that was sent to her from her team. Someone on her team made an account and just sent 60 grand of her own money to her. And OnlyFans, of course, is going to take a cut, but I guess they were just going to chalk that up to a marketing expense. Like, if the account is real and it's not just a fake Photoshop screenshot or anything, or a faked video, then that's probably what happened. There isn't actually someone there that sent the 60 grand since it's not him.
What's the next thing that's going to happen? And then I did say we should like get some kind of tattoo going, like I'll get her name or something tattooed on me. I didn't think I was going to get a portrait
Where's the portrait?
on the back of my leg.
Okay.
So now so first I'm the top spender, and then it comes out to me I didn't know I was a Bitcoin billionaire, I mean, I have some money, but I'm not like, what do I think's a good price for the tattoo? Now I was like saying 15 to 20K,
Now, he really did get an authentic tattoo of Ruby Rose's face firmly planted on his body. Now, he said he asked the team for at least like 15 to 20 grand for it, and then he went on to say like he has some weird tattoos, so it wasn't that big of a deal to him. He even said like, down the line, if someone asks, he'll just say it was his ex-girlfriend or something. So I'm assuming, got paid for that tattoo. He then goes on to say that they never told him about the whole like crypto billionaire angle or anything like that. So he went to a weed shop and someone brought it up, and then it started to hit him like, okay, this is kind of a big deal now. So this is where the most important part comes up to me, where it really sold me on this being a genuine case of a porn addict, obsessed stalker that is sending unreal amounts of money to his fixation, Ruby Rose in this case. This is the most important piece of the puzzle. That true life episode with Brandon in it. The porn addiction episode.
But then also you were on True Life fucking porn addiction, and I was like,
yeah,
I was? And then I looked into that afterwards, but so
were you on True Life porn addiction? Or because I saw that too. I saw that there was
like me, does it?
Oh, that wasn't you at all. I saw the picture and I just assumed that it was. Wow,
Yeah.
is nothing real? Holy shit!
No, so I mean so
This is the part that is just actually impressive to me because I would have never expected it. So, what happened is after the Ruby Rose initial post with her top OnlyFans spender, there were some super sleuths online that were doing digging to try and find out more about this individual, because at the time he was like a fucking cryptid. This billionaire, wealthy porn addict that's sending all this money to Ruby Rose. This guy was up there with like fucking Slender Man, and people were trying to find out more about him. And then a post came and blew up that claimed that this person in the Ruby Rose photo, the #1 OnlyFans spender, is the same person from this True Life episode about porn addiction, and then showed a screenshot. And the guy in the screenshot from that episode, which is what aired in 2009, does look pretty similar to this guy here, if he was aged 14 years in the future. And I went and I watched that goddamn episode, and I really did think that this was the same individual. But it turns out it is apparently not. So, what this means is this team, Ruby Rose's team, planted that information there in order to sell the authenticity even further. This was one of the core components that convinced me that this was genuine, because you have this episode of a TV show from 2009. This isn't like a fake TV show or a fake screenshot or anything. This was a real episode of a show from 2009 with someone with a porn addiction that does resemble this guy, who is now apparently donating so much money to this OnlyFans creator. It was so thorough. Like, how would they even find someone that looked like him from a show in 2009 about porn addiction? It is the perfect fucking fit.
it was going to be, I didn't even know what was going on. And then I get the tattoo, and then it turns out to be I'm like some obsessive like stalker guy named Brandon, which was the guy on True Life, where he was addicted to porn, and that's why like in the messages it says Brandon OnlyFan creep or some shit. I wake up, I see this post, and it's like the tattoo one, right? And then I'm like seeing all the text messages, and I'm like, I didn't even like read it. Like I seen some of it, and it seemed like it was really bad, so I like just turned my phone off.
I really can't express enough how much heavy lifting drawing that connection between this guy and that True Life episode from 2009 did for this narrative. It really did make it so much more convincing. Because as I mentioned in the last video, those text messages are so over the top that it almost does feel satirical. But because I was working under the impression that this was the same individual from the True Life episode, it really does track for someone with a mental illness like that, an obsession, a porn addiction. Like, it does check out. So I'm still kind of stunned at the lengths they went to for this. Not because it's super hard to just like fake, you know, a story about, hey, my number one OnlyFans subscriber, and then like a fake screenshot of how much money they sent, and then even just like a flurry of text messages, you could easily whip that up super quickly. But what is very hard to do is find something that is old and real, the True Life episode, and connect it to something that's happening now. That is what makes it much more difficult. If that component with the True Life episode wasn't there, I probably wouldn't have fallen for this. That was the biggest thing by far. So yeah, wanted to give you the update here because, boy, we've been had with this one. This was a very well put together fucking OnlyFans promotional stunt, I guess. The guy does go on to say that he felt that the whole thing was just getting really weird now. Like, it doesn't seem like he's super happy about how everything played out. He doesn't like being known as this obsessive porn addict weirdo that's, you know, enamored with Ruby Rose to an unhealthy degree or anything. So he doesn't seem really happy about any of it either. But I know who is happy. Ruby Rose and her whole team for this one. They're shaking each other's hands, popping champagne, and going fucking crazy together, I bet. So that's about it. So yeah. This is a bit of an older story I want to cover today, but it's one that I still think of from time to time because of its absurdity. It's vintage, 2021, which in internet years is prehistoric, basically. It's fallen out of everyone's consciousness, and I need to do my due diligence to put it back, because man oh man is it a weird one. So let's dive in. It all started in early 2021 when a young teenage girl started to receive really mean text messages from an anonymous troll, and she was getting cyberbullied through these messages for quite some time. Her boyfriend then started to get the same messages. They were extremely personal, they were extremely nasty, constantly telling her to kill herself, this and that. And the mother got really upset at this because obviously, who wouldn't? Her daughter is being harassed by some weirdo degenerate. As I imagine any good caring parent would do, they see this kind of behavior and they start rolling up their sleeves, giving them one of these, why I oughta when I find who's behind this. So she starts to launch an investigation and work collaboratively with authorities to find the culprit. Who's behind this? Could this be the work of the infamous hacker known as 4chan? And they went on a hunt to track this person down because it didn't stop, and it was tons of messages, hundreds of messages, over a year's worth of harassment and 349 pages worth of DMs with this shit. And eventually the FBI got involved in this case to figure out who's doing this because it was so personal and so targeted and mean that they really wanted to figure it out. And this is all attacking a minor too. So it was like stalking a minor, just harassing, unrelenting. And eventually the investigation concludes that it was the mother that was sending these text messages. She was running it all through a VPN to try and avoid being tracked down. So she had a real nefarious scheme here where she would just keep telling her daughter to kill herself and insulting her and the boyfriend. There was even this subplot that arose where she started to blame another classmate that could have been behind it. So she started to try and frame another child for this. It was fucking wild. And keep in mind, the mother was the one working so closely with the authorities to, I guess, throw them off of her trail. So this whole thing was kind of like that SpongeBob meme where it's like Maniac on the loose and he's on the walkie-talkie with the Maniac poster behind him with his face on it. That was this case in real life.
7, the Isabella County mom who catfished her own daughter for almost 2 years is going to prison. Kendra Licari was arrested in December for stalking her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend.
Now, I didn't mention a moment ago, but I will now, that it was more than just sending those really nasty messages. Apparently, Kendra Licari would even send her daughter doctored photos of herself. I guess, like, with really mean shit on it. It didn't go into detail, but I read one of the reports that it was more than just text. She would send photos, too. So I'm guessing she would, like, Photoshop shit with her daughter in there to, like, bully her further off of it. It's so baffling.
For nearly 2 years, she sent hundreds of harassing and obscene messages and pictures to the teens every day. It wasn't until the mother of the boyfriend and Licari herself went to police for help. That's when they discovered Licari was the one sending the messages. Police also found she tried to frame a third teen as the one sending those messages. Today in court, she was sentenced to up to 5 years in prison.
So she'll spend at least 19 months in prison for all of this. And what's even wilder is that there's still no explanation for why. What was her motive? Why would she do this? This is some huge fucking hater energy. She's waking up real early in the morning to have extra time to hate her own daughter. She would send up to 12 text messages a day, every day, all just shitting on her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend. It doesn't seem like there's anything to gain out of this except for making your daughter scared and miserable and potentially traumatizing her, because her daughter's a very young teenager during all of this. So I can't imagine what her motivation was, and she's never explained or elaborated on what the plan was. So I've seen speculation that people thought this was maybe another, like, Munchausen by proxy situation. If anyone is familiar with, like, the Gypsy Rose case, you're probably familiar with that term. But I don't know if that would necessarily even apply here. I really don't know. Maybe it is the mom trying to, like, isolate the daughter somehow by making her afraid of all of her classmates, or maybe trying to push the boyfriend out of her life. The whole thing is just a giant fucking question mark of why would anyone ever do this? And she did this every day for over a year. This was part of her morning routine. Get a nice cup of joe and shit on your daughter. Why? Maybe a power thing? Like maybe she was bullied in high school, so now she's trying to, you know, do the same to, like, take that back. She's, like, passing the torch to herself to be the bully now. I don't get it. No one really does. And she has not said why. At least not from what I've found. All you can find is speculation and theories on what the motive could possibly be.
Isabella County Prosecutor David Barbary said this is one of the most confusing and complicated cases he has had to deal with. Not only from the case itself, Kendra Licari harassing and catfishing her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend for more than a year, but also when it came to sentencing. When it comes to sentencing, they hope to let the victims have a say. But the two victims here, Licari's daughter, she's hoping for leniency. She didn't want to feel responsible for putting her mom in prison. The other victim, her boyfriend, their family wanted the book thrown at Licari.
That's another super fucked up component to all of this, because not only was the daughter the victim of this relentless harassment campaign from her own mother, but now her mother is going to be going away to prison because of all of it. So now she's going to be growing up without her mom around for quite some time. It's just a really sad situation. I don't know why the mom did this, and also why she refuses to elaborate on what she was fucking thinking. She openly admitted to all of it, and she apologized saying she doesn't want to hurt anybody else, but she still has never said why she did it in the first place and continued doing it for so long. It just, I don't understand. Maybe she was like, you know, beta testing her shit talk for her League of Legends solo queue games, so she'd like use her daughter as a guinea pig. Like, let's see how my daughter reacts when I tell her this. Not enough tears. I'm gonna have to go harder. I need to make sure that all the dog shit players in my lobby feel really bad. I need to make sure my trash talk is S tier. But anyway, she pled guilty to 2 counts of stalking a minor, and she's going to prison for some time now. And it's just a really weird situation, obviously, but it merely makes you think. Your biggest hater, who exactly are they? It could be anyone. And don't give me any of that mumbo-jumbo baloney about how everyone loves you, you don't have haters. You do. I'll hit you with the cold water. Even if there was a perfect person that existed, they would have haters because they are perfect. They would hate them for that. So no matter what, I promise you there are people that don't like you. And who are they? This story makes you think, makes you sit back and go, it really could be anyone. What if the person that's replying to all of your tweets saying awful things like, you're so short, why'd you end up so short, dummy, stupid face, greasy little goblin man? What if that person is actually my own mother? Or father? What if they're both in on it? What if they both have alt accounts where they're constantly spamming my shit, pointing out every insecurity that I could possibly ever have? Could be. You never know, as is clear here. So yeah, anyway, that's really about it. So yeah. Have you ever been bullied? I'm assuming all of you said yes to that, because pretty much everyone in the world at some point in their lives has been made fun of for something. But if you're someone who said no, you're most likely a liar. Or the coolest person on the planet, you're very fortunate. God bless you, I suppose. But it's time you start getting bullied, so I'll go ahead and be your first experience with it. Fuck you, stupid face. Now we're all on an even playing field. So I'm sure, like I said, all of us have experienced, in one way or another, being made fun of by our peers. But I think what very few of us have experienced is being bullied by the person who gave us life.
I am so pissy today. Just downright motherfuckers today.
This lady who kicks off this rant with a Chewbacca screech is an OnlyFans model who has a child. And she's about to go on this big spiel about how her child being sick at school has cock-blocked her. And she just starts insulting her own flesh and blood. Admittedly, I'm also a bit confused on what she even means when she says she's downright motherfuckers today. Am I out of touch, or is she the problem? I don't get what that means. It seems like she's just desperately trying to be, like, quirky.
I had to come up here. I had to come up here at fucking 11 o'clock in the afternoon. That's prime time. That's prime time. If you know what I mean.
She goes non-verbal there for a moment and starts spamming Fortnite emotes, but don't worry, I'm picking up what she's putting down here. So she's complaining that she's now had to go all the way out here at 11 o'clock in the afternoon, which immediately is news to me. I didn't know 11 o'clock made it to the afternoon. Feels like it probably shouldn't meet that criteria, but who am I to question such an intellectual? But she's upset because apparently 11 o'clock is prime time coitus. Which again, very enlightening information for me. My third eye is being forced open here to the truth. 11 o'clock feels like it'd be one of the most inconvenient times to schedule your fucking bedroom ham sandwich appointments. It feels like that's right in like the middle of the workday for a lot of normal people. It's also just generally early for such debauchery. But who am I to be questioning this? She's upset because it's now intruded upon her having sex. And now she's inconvenienced and she's irate.
But listen, so that's partly why I'm cranky, but I'm cranky because my child is 10. I had to come up to the school and I had to pick him up. Why? Why did I have to fucking pick this kid up? I had to pick this kid up because he's a man, okay? He's a little man and he's got a weak ass stomach like fucking most men do.
She gets so heated that her eyes start going cross during this. He's not a little man. He's a little kid. He's 10 years old. He's a boy. And he was puking. It makes sense that the school would call the mother to come pick up the kid because he puked a few times. Can you imagine being the kid and seeing your mom just flaming you online in a viral rant? Like, that's gotta be downright diabolical to experience. Especially if, like, his classmates see it. That'll just be infinite ammunition to use against him anytime they want to make him feel bad. Just bring up that his mom insults him publicly online. It also feels so weird hearing his actual mother referred to him as this kid. That's like something you used to say on Xbox Live during some Call of Duty shit talking. Oh, this kid's just fucking camping, noob-tube one-man army, coward. Like, I don't know why she, like, harbors such disdain for him here over something he can't control. Puking.
So somebody busted ass in the library. He threw up not one time, not two times, but 3 times in the library. Fucking literally the nurse calls and she's like, you're gonna have to come pick up your son because he just vomited 3 times in the library, like exorcist style, all over the place. Why? He's not even sick. Some kid farted next to him and he said that it made his stomach feel bad.
She tries to channel her inner Jim Carrey here for the comedy of the video. And I'm not entirely sure if this is real or not, this story she's telling, or if she's just trying to put on some kind of performance. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much you try and dilute cringe, it's still cringe. The result will be the same here. She does have a child, and you are using him as the punchline of your joke, assuming this is all just a made-up story. And if anyone in his schools, from his class, sees this, they will undoubtedly make fun of him for it, because you are making fun of him. I remember when I was growing up, I used to get made fun of for being short, or actually there was a period in 4th grade where there was one guy in particular who used to make fun of me for having really red lips, so he called me Lipstick Boy. He was the only one that made fun of me in that manner, but for some reason that really struck a chord and it made me feel terrible. I couldn't imagine then going home and like hopping on TikTok and seeing my mom be like, my son just fucking puked 3 times because someone let out a stinky fart. What a weak boy. What a weak little man. And it makes me upset because I was about to fuck. I was about to have some naughty sex. And now I've got my stupid son who needs to get picked up from school. What a waste of time and what a waste of space that kid is. It's like, Jesus, that would hurt on such an unbelievably profound level. It would actually hurt more if this is a fake story. Like, Mom, why are you lying about me just to dunk on me for internet points? Like, Jesus, why are you treating me like a punching bag? And, of course, I'd go into school the next day, afraid, looking over my own shoulder, like every step of the way down the hallway, wondering who's going to insult me if they happen to see my mom's viral video.
So I have to interrupt my day because some kid's got a rank asshole? That's a new kind of block. What? That's some bullshit. And I was like, does he have to pick it up? Like, can it be like an hour? Can we like work something out? And he was like, he needs to be picked up immediately because he threw up.
I really don't get why she tries to censor herself. So instead of saying cock block, she just puts up the C and then like, I don't know, stop sign. I actually don't really know what that was. A fucking force push at the camera. But like she does like mouth the words cock block, and I don't know why she doesn't just say it with her whole chest. She says bullshit, she says fuck. Like, it's not as though she's censoring bad words or anything. So what is the point in all of these huge, exaggerated Pixar animation gestures when talking about you having to leave getting piped to pick up your kid? I don't really understand the point of that.
He threw up because he has a weak stomach. What about the kid who busted ass so fucking bad that he cleared out an entire goddamn library? That seems like a problem. He seems like he should get some medical attention. Not my kid.
Busted ass doesn't mean what you think it means, lady. It doesn't refer to farting, it refers to falling and hurting yourself. That's when you bust ass. What you're looking for, what you're trying to use, is ripping ass. Ripping ass is what you're trying to describe here. You're not even using the correct terminology. You're not using the preferred scientific nomenclature to refer to this incident.
Not my kid who's just got a weak stomach. Damn. It's not, I'm gonna Kool-Aid man through the side of a wall today. That's what I'm gonna do. Yep, I'm gonna do because I'm pent up and I got a lot of aggression.
Here's what I think. I think at some level this story has true elements, but it's embellished for the sake of her being able to exaggerate because she thought it would make for a silly video that TikTok would gobble up. But I don't know why she thought it would go over well. At the core of this story she's telling, it's She's having sex, has to stop having sex because her child is puking at school, and she's insulting her child for that. It's a horrible look for you. This is not a story you'd ever share if it was true, because it would be embarrassing and make you look like an very uncaring mom. But if it's fake, it makes you look like an attention-seeking clout chaser that will use their kid as a stepping stool, like a fucking doormat, for some clout. There's just no winners with whatever your plan was with this video. Regardless of the authenticity of the story told here, at the very least, it is cringe. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. It's baffling how common it is for people to live stream their most embarrassing moments on purpose. They're filming their own lowlights, their own worst ofs for the montage of shame. Things most people would want buried forever, they are proudly with a smile on their face broadcasting to their audience for content. Today, an extremely trashy stream clip has gone viral with a streamer named Elisa Jordana firing up a live stream after learning that her boyfriend has been cheating on her. I'm going to go through most of what happens in the stream, but the clip everyone's seen, which we'll get to towards the end, is at the very end of the stream. It's about 2 hours and 20 minutes. She gets her boyfriend in the car, and then she starts attacking him while she's driving. So she starts physically hitting him. And then she hits him very hard in the nose, like a full-blown strike to the nose, like a fucking monk's palm strike to his nose. It was quite a wallop. Like, if she was playing that boxing bag game that you see at bars where it measures your punch and it like grades your force up to 999, she probably would have scored like a 700 with that strike. So it definitely could have caused some damage. She threatens to kill him, and then she continues to escalate it. She grabs on his ear and starts pulling on it, and then he starts fighting back. So he starts fighting her. He starts yanking on her hair, telling her to stop the car, and she does stop the car. He continues yanking and pulling on her. She gets out of the car. He gets out of the car, chases her down, and then he gets back in the car and turns the stream off. Without a doubt, one of the worst live streams I can think of in recent memory. It's hard to watch. It's awful. It's crimes. Like, you're watching crimes unfold.
He lied so much to me. He lied so much to me. And he lied and he told her I'm just like a streamer and it was just an investment. And like the whole time he was talking to me, he was talking to her. The whole time.
Gadzooks, what in the fuck would possibly possess you to want to start a live stream after learning something so heavy? That makes no sense. How poisoned must your brain be to possibly come up with an idea like this? Learning that your boyfriend has been cheating on you and then immediately turning it into a stream for content? That's incomprehensible. I don't understand why people want to broadcast every single waking moment of their lives to a bunch of strangers online, a ton of goobers who are just going to sit back tossing popcorn down their gullet because it's just entertainment to them, even though it's your life that's being ruined in real time. Why do that? Fucking Jack Bauer couldn't torture me enough to force me to go live after learning something like this. He could put all the jumper cables he wants on my nipples and scrotum. I still wouldn't do it because it's a horrible thing to want to put out there. I couldn't even imagine just firing up the stream. Hey guys, this one's going to be a little bit different than usual. Turns out she's getting piped by another man right now. They're steaming ham as we speak. Oh, thanks for the $6. Charlie's girl is slobbering on my neat. Ha ha ha.
And sending her money on Venmo.
Yeah, but why are you surprised?
I'm not surprised, Brandon. I'm not surprised. Actually, I'll go to Tanger's Outlets right here.
I just don't get why you would cry over him, dude. Like, you already got money. You already supposedly got money from him.
I did, but he still was very bad, Brandon.
Yeah, so what do you think would happen if you're going to marry him, this and that?
I'm not marrying him, Brandon. I'm obviously not marrying him.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you...
She then goes for this joyride, or lack thereof joy, and it's the most distracted driving I've ever seen. No exaggeration. She doesn't even pretend to be paying attention to the road. She is glued to her phone or reading the chat, I believe, because she does get donations. She has text-to-speech enabled, so she is getting donations throughout this stream. And she is always looking at something other than the road. That is extremely dangerous, not only to herself, but all of the people on the road around her. And you can see that she busts out that crazy U-turn and gets honked at because that came out of fucking nowhere like a jump scare to all the other drivers. This is just, it's unhinged. This is, again, unacceptable. It's illegal. You can't be driving like this. I understand she's upset after finding out her partner's been unfaithful. Anyone in the world would feel the same way. But not many people in the world would handle it the way she is, by starting up a fucking live stream for people to be tuned in on with everything. Not only is she very dangerously behaving here on the road, but she then starts just dropping all kinds of personal information publicly. Just publicly revealing a lot of things that 100% should stay private.
Why is that a no? I'm gonna go to Tanger's Outlet actually with his card right now. All right, let's do that. Tanger's Outlet. Let's go on a shopping spree.
Hope you find your way home. 48 JSK.
Not that much money left. Should I spend this money? Sparrows for everyone?
Another lore dump for you for why she drove to the mall here. It's because she had his wallet and stated she wanted to go on a bit of a shopping spree with his cards. And then on stream, she actually opens his wallet and shows his driver's license and says, should I drop his cards in the Discord? So threatening to also just show his cards to her community. She then takes money out of his wallet and says, should I buy food for everyone? Those are all crimes. Again, you're compiling evidence against yourself. You're doing the police's job for them. You are actually showcasing criminal activity. Now, unless I miss something, she doesn't actually spend any of his money. She doesn't actually use any of his cards there. She just makes the threats that she could and would do so. She does, however, actually open his wallet, and you can see his driver's license clearly because she's bouncing it around like something out of the Disney Channel. So you can see that, but I don't think you can make out any of his other cards. But regardless, this whole thing should have never been put online. I don't know why she made the decision to start streaming this. Again, she does have text-to-speech donations enabled, so it's possible that this is all just to get some, like, money from people that are sympathizing with her because she's going through something horrible. Getting cheated on sucks. But the way she's handling it is fucking awful. She's distracted driving, dangerously putting other people's lives at risk on the road, threatening to commit some criminal actions live, and then it ends with her assaulting him, physically assaulting him live. Like, this is a horrible fucking stream.
Dreams, and he thought, oh, Discord's stupid. A lot of people say that, right? So all of Scora's private information is Sarah's phone number, Sarah's address, her full name, her Venmo account, transactions are all.
James donated $5. Mr. Is your Mexican girl hot?
It sounds as though Elisa has fully doxed the guy and the girl here, posting all of their private information in her Discord, which is illegal. You can't do that. I also think it's worth mentioning, since you caught a glimpse of it there, anytime that girl, Sarah, is brought up during this stream, both Elisa and the community of pay piggies that's donating to her always make sure to mention that she's Mexican, and they make statements in the chat about that as well. Throughout the stream, reading the chat, there were so many moments of genuine racism, it was fucking sickening.
FYI, February...
I called Sarah, you fucking bitch. I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna kill you. Sorry.
You had hit him in my presence.
Okay, I'm not going to talk about the bad topic.
Well, I can talk about it.
No, I said I'm going to stop talking about it.
Okay, good. No, it's not okay.
Are you ever been cheated on for 2 years with a 20-year-old Mexican?
I'm not getting into my business.
Okay, well, I'm just telling you that's my business. I really don't want to talk to you.
This happened shortly before the viral clip from this stream where she starts hitting him in the car. So prior to them getting in the vehicle, she pushed him outside, and it was actually observed by someone who confronted her about it, because in this instance, her violent outburst was in broad daylight in view of public and bystanders. So someone came up to her, I believe it was an officer, and talked to her about it, and even during this talk, Elisa still finds a way to mention that the other girl is Mexican.
Hello? Hi, Sarah, how are you? How are you, Sarah? Hi. Thanks so much for calling. I'm just gonna send you like 6 months of texts of your nudes and, you know, different sentences that he...
Sarah, I'm sorry about this.
Don't talk. Don't fucking talk.
Idiot.
Yes, Sarah, we're really sorry about this. I'm sending him your way today.
Fucking...
Yeah. No, so Bahram, how do you pronounce it? Do you know? I don't know.
Shut the fuck up, cunt.
Yeah, what's up?
She's half your age. She's half your age.
Delete the number, please.
I cut out the ending here because it's a lot. Like, even this much, I don't even know if YouTube will allow me to show. I'm really not sure. It's legitimate assault. So she hits him a couple of times, the nose hit by far being the biggest blow. And then after where I cut it off, he grabs her hair and starts yanking and pulling on her, and she starts talking about how he's killing her, and the car stops, and then eventually she gets out of the car, he chases her down, I think she gets in another vehicle in the background, and then he comes back into the car and turns the stream off. It's a horrifying thing to watch, to be honest. As of right now, Elisa has been arrested, her mugshot and booking information is all out there for this incident. There's no update on the guy or what's going on with that part of all of this, but what a fucking awful live stream. Now on Twitter there's been a lot of debate about this video on whether or not the man's actions were justified in this situation, and most people are saying that they were, claiming that he was acting in self-defense. And it seems like the law would agree with them on that take, because from everything I can find, he hasn't been booked or charged with anything. Now, I think it's important we remember that the guy in this video is no saint. He cheated on his significant other. That is the behavior of a piece of shit. But under no circumstances does anyone deserve to be beaten like this. He's not a good guy, but he is still the victim of an assault. And I think all of the video evidence suggests that this was a case of self-defense. He didn't lash out at her or strike at her until she went in again for like the third or fourth time, assaulting him. And then he did fight back. Now, I do think there is a case to be made that he may have taken it too far, because he does yank and pull on her for quite some time, even once the car comes to a complete stop. So I think he probably could have gotten out of the car at that point and just left the situation entirely, but I also don't know the entire situation on where it was stopped, if it may have been dangerous to do so, I don't know. But overall, I do agree that this does seem to be him defending himself, like, from getting attacked in this vehicle. Overall, this was a fucking awful live stream. And I really don't think this is going to be the last of its kind that we see, because it feels like it's getting more and more common with people wanting to live stream every moment of their lives, even the worst parts of it. So there'll probably be more things like this in the future, which sucks. I think it's just an awful direction, but just wanted to talk about this. That's about it. See ya. A few nights ago on stream, I watched a little bit of a video called I Got Divorced Over Yu-Gi-Oh! And I went into it, you know, like lollipop and spinny hat, thinking it was going to be like good, silly fun. Like, I thought it was like an exaggeratory title where he was telling a story about how his wife walked in like Seto Kaiba and ripped his blue eyes, and then he said, "Enough is enough. We'll play a shadow game to decide the fate of our marriage," and then they divorced or something. But the reality is, it's a very honest and open look at an unhealthy relationship, and it's one that I went back and finished the video for and have been thinking about since. So in a nutshell, this guy had a YouTube channel that was dedicated to Yu-Gi-Oh! And he was actually paying his bills through the content he was making. So it's not like this was a hobby that was destructive to him. You know, he wasn't going out on the streets and selling his butt for Yu-Gi-Oh! Briefcases of cards. Like, he was making a living through Yu-Gi-Oh! And his YouTube channel, but his wife didn't really like it. She didn't have any respect for it, and it basically boiled down to he married like his #1 hater. And she eventually wore him down enough to the point where he did abandon the hobby and his YouTube channel, because she just thought it was kind of cringe, I guess. Like, I'm not saying in every healthy relationship your partner has to, you know, get into whatever hobby you're into, but at the very least, the bare minimum is being understanding and supportive of it. Like, I'm not saying she had to go out there and get a tier 0 deck or learn how to pendulum summon so she could start banishing assholes to the Shadow Realm, but maybe don't be constantly spitting and shitting on your husband for something that he's clearly passionate about and something that is actively making him money. I got divorced over Yu-Gi-Oh!
I need to say this. Let me just say it straight out the way. I am no longer married, and I'm divorced.
More time for Yu-Gi-Oh! You can grind. YCS pretty soon, I think. Can't remember when the next YCS is. But you got so much time now.
When I met this woman, and I told her about my Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, she hated it. She didn't like it. She said that, hey, you could do something better with your life. You should go back to school.
All right, I hate that. Man, just let someone have hobbies. Like, who cares? It's not hurting anyone, not hurting you. It's nerdy, sure, who cares? It's a hobby. I bet she had stupid hobbies too. Everyone does.
I said, you know what? Maybe she's right. And you know what I did? I sold all my equipment. I sold my YouTube channel.
Whoa.
I sold all my camera stuff. I'm like, you know what? Maybe it is time to move on. Maybe it's time for me to do something better with my life. Not knowing that at that time, what I had was very special. At that time, something that I chose to do, YouTube, I gave it up because someone said, hey, you know what? Maybe it is time to move on. You got to do something better with your life.
There are times where someone's hobby is detrimental to them, whether it's financially draining or mentally draining. Like, that is a problem, and that's where you'd come in and say, like, hey, maybe it's time we look for something else, try a different path, and move on to something else. But that's not the case here. This guy had a channel, and his YouTube and Yu-Gi-Oh hobby were helping sustain him and pay bills. So her coming in there, fee-fi-fo-fumming around, marching up to him, saying, like, you gotta move on, makes no fucking sense. Like, that's so stupid. Just basically saying it's time to grow up. You know, this is a children's card game. We don't do this as adults. It's time you be a real man, a real adult, and start doing crypto scams. Like, it's just silly.
And she's no longer here. And this problem persists. She told me at that time, hey, you want to meet my mother? You need a car. Because I didn't have a car at the time. I was doing YouTube. I was working from home. I didn't need to drive anywhere.
Chasing the dream.
Yes, YouTube is what I did for a living. It's how I paid my bills. And I was street performing also. How did I street perform? I just catch the bus 20 minutes down the street, played my horn, went home. I never needed a car. Even though I explained to her, this is what I chose to do.
Why did she even come into your life then? It sounds like she didn't respect your hobbies. She didn't respect your drive, your passion, or anything. Why the fuck was she even here? Just to completely change you? That's sad. There's definitely a limit too. Like, if you're obsessed with a hobby and it's actually a detriment on your life, which it doesn't sound like it was for him, then I can understand someone coming in and be like, all right, look, maybe we need to reevaluate this. You know, maybe, collecting fucking, I don't know, jelly beans and putting all your money into antique jelly beans is, taking its toll. Maybe we should look at other things so you can get out of the house. You can start, finding something else. I get it. But it doesn't sound like it was to that point here. This is just sad. I imagine the channel was generating income. He just said he was paying his bills through YouTube and street performing. So he was making money. He was perfectly sustaining himself. At least that's the impression I get. She was probably embarrassed to tell her friends what he does for a living. Well, then don't be with him. If you're embarrassed of your significant other, why are you with them in the first place? That's on you if you don't respect them. Don't be with them. It's bad for both you and the partner. I feel like this probably happens a lot, although I've only seen it happen to one of my friends once, where he got with a girl that just really didn't like anything about him. Well, what are you doing there? Why are you choosing to be with this person if the goal is to change everything about them, to turn them into a blank canvas for you to paint on? That this doesn't make sense. Find someone that's more compatible with the things you like at that point. Like in this case, she comes in and she just doesn't like any of it. You're going to flush Yu-Gi-Oh down the shitter. You're going to go back to school. Honestly, it sounds like a mom that's trying to discipline their kid. Like, all right, no more Xbox. We're unplugging the Xbox and you're going to go to school twice as much now. Somehow we're gonna find extra school for you to go to. It's just so fucking toxic. This guy was doing just fine. He was providing for himself through his passion, through his ambition, his hobbies, but it didn't fit what she thought was acceptable. So she goes in there and tries to force him to do all of it, and unfortunately succeeds, where he does abandon his hobbies and his passion for her, for this relationship. And that just shouldn't have been a sacrifice that he was forced to make for the sake of the relationship. He didn't need to tribute summon his hobby in order to get his wife's appreciation for what she believes is an acceptable idea for an adult hobby. It was making money, it was paying his bills, and it's something he loved doing. Why change that? There's really no good argument I can think of for it. Sounds like she just hated Yu-Gi-Oh! She must have been more of a Digimon gal.
So, she hated those cards. She literally cried because of those cards. And people say, hey, priorities, man. It's your wife, or, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You're telling me your wife was crying about Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards?
But then I'll be back at that point where I'm giving up things that I like, things that's a part of my life, for someone else to feel happy. And I feel miserable in the process. I love that. I miss that. Why can't she come along with my journey instead of scrutinizing me? And then that's money gone from me. It's not about the money, but that was money gone from me.
That was his career. Man, what a disaster. What a shame. Imagine your Yu-Gi-Oh! Passion being so epic it makes your wife cry. My husband has mastered the shadow games. Damn! Fuck! I'd want nothing more than my partner loving their job, man. I'd cry tears of joy. I imagine that's how it works in most healthy relationships, brother. I feel like it's kind of important to have, like, respect. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's kind of basic. He triggered her trap card of divorce. Now, another thing I was thinking about when I went back and watched the whole video is that there is a time where a hobby becomes too consuming, where it starts straining the relationship. Like, maybe he was always fiddling around with those Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, you know, by candlelight in like a dark room, and, you know, scratching at his neck for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards and ignoring his wife and letting the relationship start to crumble around him because it's always Yu-Gi-Oh! All the time. But I don't think that was the case here. And you'll see why I think that in a moment, the more he explains about how it got to that point. And it's not all about Yu-Gi-Oh! He does talk about how a big part of his life has always been music and street performing, and even that wasn't acceptable to her or her parents, really.
I met the parents. They asked me, hey, what do you do for a living? I had to tell them I am a musician. I couldn't tell them I was a street musician. I am a musician. Then they said, hey, you have a degree? I said, I don't have a degree. My ex-wife parents did not speak to me for 2 years and told her not to marry me because I don't have a degree.
That's fucking brutal, and to me, it blows my little noodle because this guy was doing so fine on his own. He was paying all of his bills. He was living just fine with the money he was making through Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTube content and street performing music. And he'll talk about it in a moment, he was making enough money where he could provide for both himself and his wife through those passions. Yet they wanted him to just burn it all to the ground, fucking salt the earth, so he could restart with what they think is acceptable, which was going back to school to get a degree and getting a 9-to-5 job. Both things that he did do. Well, he got the 9-to-5 job and attempted school, but school wasn't working out super well for him. But he did everything for that relationship to try and make her happy and be like an acceptable partner in his ex-wife's parents' eyes.
So I give up this YouTube thing. I give up my entrepreneurial things. I try to do something that's not innately a part of my strengths at all, because I'm thinking I'm in love to do something for somebody, to prove something. So when we got married and we moved out to Baltimore to somewhere else that I didn't want to be, she said, hey, how come you're not paying the bills? And I was like, what? I have a job. I have a 9-to-5 job. I don't make enough from this 9-to-5 job to pay all these bills. Before then, I could street performing in YouTube. I made enough money off of that to pay the bills. Now I'm working 9-to-5 all day long, and that's not a complaint because there are people who do that. But I had something that most people wish they had.
He's right. He had the dream job. He literally had the wet dream most people wish they had, which is their hobby, their passion, being able to sustain them, so they don't have to do something that makes them miserable just to survive. And he says, like, he gave all of that up for her and this relationship, and that new shiny 9-to-5 that he got, all to please his wife, because she believed that that was the only real way to grow up and, you know, move on from Yu-Gi-Oh! And street performing music. Well, that 9-to-5 couldn't pay the bills for both of them. And that's the unfortunate reality of where America is right now. I've talked about this a lot. The normal salary you make at like a 9-to-5, you can't fucking live off of that in like a 2-person household. That just, it's impossible. Things are way too expensive, especially in certain locations. It's just not happening. It's an absolute shame. It's a fucking crime. I'm not going to just rant about that. I've done that plenty on stream. He had a job that could do that. Like, he had a job people kill over. And she just didn't like it. Found it cringe, I guess. Wasn't proud of his hobby and that job that was making him money. So force is the wrong word, because he mentions as well, he made the choice. He ultimately chose to get rid of all of that for her, but she was pushing him to do it, and now he's miserable with this 9-to-5, and she's not happy because that 9-to-5 isn't able to pay all of the bills.
She says, hey, you need to find a hobby. I'm like, oh, let me play Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. So, last December, last year, I start my channel up again. I buy my channel back from Java. Like, oh, she gave me the okay to go into a hobby. You know what she said? You're spending too much time playing those cards. She says, why are you into those cards so much? I said, hey, I need to make a video about something.
After selling everything and starting over, he does eventually get back into Yu-Gi-Oh! To a certain extent, where he picks up the hobby again, but his wife still just hates that the hobby he picked up was Yu-Gi-Oh! And YouTube. So he goes on to say how she just really didn't like it. That's when he gets into saying how she would like actually cry over Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's where I was saying, like, if it was completely consuming his whole life, where he was ignoring her and everything in the relationship was starting to just dwindle because he was too preoccupied with Yu-Gi-Oh!, I'd understand it. But from what I'm seeing and like going back to his channel, it doesn't seem like that was really the case. He was talking about how since he'd been away from the game for an extended period of time, he needed to relearn it. He needed to catch up on all the new things with Yu-Gi-Oh! So he could make content around it. So he'd be able to be knowledgeable on it, which is perfectly understandable, I'd say. And it doesn't seem like he took it to an excessive degree. It's his passion, it's his hobby, it's what he wanted to do, and it's what he was doing, so he wanted to get back to it. He recognized just how much of a gift being able to do that and make money off of it was, and he wanted that back. So he was getting back into the hobby. She still really hated it. One thing led to another, and now they're no longer together. And it seems like the big reason is because of Yu-Gi-Oh! The deeper issue is that she had absolutely no respect for his passion, and she wasn't supportive and seemed like was embarrassed of him. So it's two people that should have never been together in the first place. He gave up everything he loved to try and make her happy, but she was never really happy with the man that he actually is. So it's just very incompatible, and they tried to make it work, and it didn't work. And both people, I think, were not happy as a result of the relationship. Hopefully going forward, they both find better partners. Hopefully this guy starting over on his YouTube channel, luckily he was able to buy it back. Hopefully he is able to find that success that he once had. And yeah, just kind of wanted to talk about it because I just found it to be one of the more honest videos I've seen on the platform about a subject like this. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. There's a clip that's been floating around generating a lot of buzz with a woman who is screaming at an officer about someone needing to get a ticket. And screaming is a word that just doesn't do it justice. This is a level beyond that I didn't even think was possible with human vocal folds. Like, this is what banshees are said to sound like. Her screaming, like her squealing, like that's what I imagine Black Bolt's sonic superpowers must have sounded like in the comics. It is otherworldly.
Give him a ticket!
Do you need an ambulance?
He doesn't have a third signal! Give him a ticket!
Do you need to go to the...
Why the fuck do I get a ticket?
Okay.
He can do whatever he wants!
Okay.
Give him a ticket!
And not a lot of people know the full context of it. It's more than just the clip. This actually goes on for like 25 minutes or more. It was probably closer to like an hour across multiple different locations of her keeping up that same anger the entire time. Like, I am shocked she didn't give herself like a fucking aneurysm during it. It is unreal. And a lot of people also don't know there's a sequel to this. So this happened, and then later on, she actually got arrested again for something else totally unrelated, and she still was this angry. She must just go around this mad all the time. Like that scene from Avengers, you know, where Bruce Banner's like, the secret is I'm always mad. Like, that must be how she lives her life. It's scary. But I'm not going to touch on the sequel yet. I want to give you the genesis of the angriest woman ever recorded here. It's like a cryptid sighting. So let's take it from the beginning and go through the entire first adventure.
Hello?
I'm on the phone with your police department right now. You can't pull me over when my car's off.
Yeah, I can, because I got you speeding before you were stopped, so.
When they get there, oh no, I can call 911 if it's a fucking emergency. Do you know what the fuck that means? Yeah, this is a fucking emergency!
So she got pulled over for a speeding violation, and then she parked and called 911 immediately to complain about, like, no, now I'm just being harassed, this is all a bunch of baloney, this is horseradish. And she was calm for a little bit, and I'm using that word real loosey-goosey. It's just she wasn't absolutely at the top of her lungs hollering like she had just watched the home team win the Super Bowl. Like, she is more contained than you will ever see her on footage from this point forward. And then it starts to bubble over. The cup runneth over on anger, and it's about to spill out in a catastrophic explosion.
You're fucking shit-faced pig! Won't leave me the fuck alone!
How you doing? I'm the sergeant you requested.
Yeah.
How can I help you?
What the fuck is going on?
Okay. Well, from my understanding is you were traveling 57 in a 40-mile-an-hour zone, and that was the reason for the stop.
So this lady's having a full-blown exorcism right now, and the cops are calling in reinforcements, so they brought in the cavalry here with the Zen Master. The cop that arrives here to have a conversation with her, to the best of his ability, is cartoonishly calm.
For a good minute. Can't fucking do that.
Sure you can.
No, the fuck he can't.
Okay.
This fucking video.
I don't need to pull his video right now. We'll write you the citation, and then you can take it to court. Yep, that's what's gonna happen. Okay, I understand that you might not feel that's right.
No, you don't. You want to fucking die? Get the fuck away from me! Get away from me!
This dude's like Ned Flanders up there at the window. He's like, well, no, sorry, Bob, we can't do that. We came here because of the speeding violation. You're acting a little out of line. It's a little silly. Like, I feel like I'm watching an episode of a kids program. Like, he is trying so hard to, like, de-escalate this through just, like, babying her. Which, I think he's making the right call doing that, because she is off her gourd, clearly. I don't know if this is some kind of, like, episode. I'm inclined to believe that it's not, considering that it happened again at a later date. I really think she is just a legitimately super angry person. So now this inconvenience of the speeding ticket has set her off.
Get the fuck away from me!
You screaming at me is not gonna solve anything right now.
Why are you standing the fucking naked thing? Get the fuck away from me!
Are you threatening me now?
Get away from me!
Do you want to be arrested?
Get away from me!
Are you okay? What's
Get away from me! Get away from my fucking thing! Stop it!
You're just breaking your own stuff.
Away from me!
It is genuinely impressive how she is able to scream this loud, be this angry, without, like, passing out. Like, sometimes I'll celebrate something and, like, yell, like, during, like, an esports watch party. If something really hype happens, I'll, like, yell, and I get really lightheaded. Like, I get dizzy. I try to, like, hide it, be real brave about it, like a strong, you know, trooper about it, but, man, I get dizzy sometimes if I just yell. Meanwhile, this lady's like a fucking X-Men. She's like a mutant here with this ability. She's able to continue to screech and squeal at decibels that are definitely probably dangerous to eardrums. Like, this is probably the same note that opera singers hit that causes glass to just fucking explode, except amplified by 100 here. She's in there fucking breaking, like, not breaking, but like kicking at her own windows now while doing all of this. She's acting like she's turning into a werewolf. Also, just a side note, whatever officer is watching this unfold must be like 8 feet tall, because this body cam is towering over the other officer and this vehicle, making it look like a little toy car. I don't know how tall that officer is, but that is a big boy.
Away from my car! Okay, as soon as I have the identification, we'll write your citation. We'll be out of here. Why don't you go fucking fetch it, you fucking dog? Take your citation for speed. Yeah, are you fucking dog? Can you get the fuck out, man? Get the fuck out, man!
After she launches her ID, they give her the speeding ticket. He slides it through the windshield. He's like, "Ma'am, is through the windshield okay? All right, I'm just going to drop it off here. All right, now have a pleasant rest of your evening." And then they peel out. And you'd think that's where it ends, right? No. She actually follows the officers back to the police headquarters, which is where the viral clip starts.
And decided to follow him all the way to the police station. During the 5-minute drive,
So I have to follow every fucking law, but that fucking faggot can leave the fucking scene without a turn signal? Give him a ticket!
Do you need an ambulance?
He doesn't have a turn signal! Give him a ticket!
Do you need to go to the...
Why the fuck do I get a ticket? He can do whatever he wants!
Okay.
She is sweating profusely, actually shaking. But you'll notice, no voice cracks. Not a single hint of a voice crack during all of this screaming. I don't understand how that's possible. Those are like golden pipes of an angel to be able to go through that much trauma for this extended period of time with no damage, no raspiness. Well, okay, I don't mean to get carried away now. I'm getting a little lost in the sauce. But no, like, cracking or anything like that. No wavering. It's unbelievable.
Can I help you with anything else?
Give him a ticket! Fucking come on!
It's not gonna happen. Anything else we can help you with tonight?
Yeah! Giving him a ticket!
Alright, it's not gonna happen.
What the fuck does he get to do whatever the fuck he wants for?
I just want to know, are you okay?
Give him a ticket! Fucking dumbass! Why the fuck doesn't he get a ticket?
She believes the officer didn't use a turn signal, which is why she's demanding he gets a ticket, and she is going feral about it. And the officer, multiple times, is just, like, it seems like is actually concerned that something is wrong here. I think she's in no condition to be on the road like this whatsoever. I don't think she can even see the people in front of her because it's behind an entire wall of red. She is steaming. And I've made this reference a lot recently, but I really like to call upon this. It's like that episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog when Eustace puts that gel on his head and his fucking head explodes.
Ma'am, I can help you talk to somebody.
He didn't use his turn signal!
Ma'am, can I please call you an ambulance? Do you have any thoughts of harming yourself? Who are you calling?
Shut the fuck up!
Okay. If you keep calling 911, you could be shot. It's not.
The 911 dispatch is getting more calls than a Pizza Hut right now, and they're all from this woman who continues to call them, screaming at them, yelling at them about all of this. And it's honestly kind of sad to watch. Like, yeah, she is clearly extremely angry, but you can see, like, she starts, like, sniffling, and, like, it seems like she's on the verge of tears. She's so upset. Like, it does seem like there is a real cause for concern about, like, well, what's going on here? But she's refusing any of the help. So, again, I have no clue beyond what I've seen in her arrests now, but I really do not think, if she is like this as often as it seems she is, that she should be driving frequently, because it's a danger to the people around her.
So what the fuck are they being retarded for? No, they need to do what the fuck I say now!
Jayla, you are in an emotional state. I can't talk with you.
All of you stupid, fat, fucking white privileged motherfuckers keep costing me money, and you do whatever the fuck you want! I wish I was a cop so I could shoot all of you the fuck up and get a pat on the back for it! You stupid!
Okay.
Multiple times she's threatened to kill the officers, like earlier saying about stabbing one in the neck. Now she's saying she wished she could just shoot them, about, you know, how they're costing her money. And then she takes her glasses and throws them. Maybe broke the glasses, cost yourself money on that, kicking the windows. Also racking up a bill on your own out of control anger here. It's rough. Like, I'm not going to show too much more of this because it goes on like this for a long time, unfortunately. Like a very long time.
You don't know how to use your fucking turn signal when you're fucking leaving, huh?
When did I use my signal?
When you were leaving, you didn't use it, and you saw me following you!
I'm sorry you think that way, but I did.
Literally, you and your fucking butt buddy did it! Both of you fucking did it!
I'm cutting around a lot of the lore here, but they eventually decided, like, we need to do something here. But they didn't want to, like, wrestle with her in the car, so the main character officer, the protagonist here of this boss battle, he tried to say, if you want to talk to that officer you're so mad about, he's over there on the sidewalk, go talk to him. So that way she'd get out of their car, and then they could, like, I guess put her in cuffs and then call an ambulance. But she declined to get out of her car. Instead, she backed up and scooted in sideways so she could talk to him, yell at him through the window. So then they had to get more creative about how to get her out of the car because they didn't want to, like, hurt her, I think, or like wrestle with her in the car. So then he said, do you want to file a complaint against this guy? And she's like, yeah. All right, well, the paperwork's inside. Honestly, a grandmaster chess maneuver on the board there with the scholar's mate. So they set that booby trap. She goes inside the police station, and then she is taken into custody. It's not pretty. It's rough to watch.
Jayla, would you like to file a complaint? Yeah! Then you can head to the lobby and we have the paperwork for you. Yeah. Okay, hands behind you.
Yeah, watch out, it's broken!
Hands behind you.
They do get an ambulance there, and while putting her on the stretcher to get her in the ambulance, she hawked a fat loogie. She spit a mean one on one of the officers. So it was a bit of a struggle there, but they eventually get her in the ambulance. She was charged with, apparently she was charged with assault battery on an officer, as well as disorderly conduct and false reports to 911. Apparently some of those charges were dropped, but she ended up spending like 140-something days in jail for all of this. But yeah, that's the whole first adventure here with what I believe I can confidently say is the angriest person I've ever seen. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah, we can watch the UPS driver now. Is it this one? I'm assuming it's this one.
On February 16, 2025, deputies responded to a report on a suspicious person wearing a UPS uniform who was prowling around the neighborhood. On February 6th,
I mean, I guess it's the hat.
2025, deputies responded
I guess that counts. It's very like Agent 47 where you just throw on the hat and it's perfect.
Okay, do you have some ID on you?
It was a really big package, you wouldn't understand.
Yeah. Yeah, come on, step over here. How come you're dressed in a UPS uniform?
It's a joke. It's about...
Yeah, get your ID out. It's very funny. Sit down. This is weird. Do you have any guns or weapons on you?
No!
Put your hands on the stick.
I like that.
I don't
Put your hands on the truck.
The classic, it's a joke.
I'll tell you what you look like. You look like a prowler.
What is a prowler?
Put your hands on there. You're gonna get dumped on the ground. You understand that?
A prowler is a vehicle in Halo 3.
Prowler is someone who goes door to door checking to see if houses are gonna be unoccupied.
That is a terrible tattoo. I think it's like a big leaf, but it just looks like a single giant sideburn. Looks like Wolverine's mutton chops.
Is that a fucking gun? What is that?
I like that. Why are you dressed in UPS attire? It's a joke. Is that a gun? I don't know. Found it.
No, I'm not.
I'm not small. I just found it, sir.
What are you doing?
No! She had a fake tooth with cyanide. God! Quick! Somebody do something!
That is the worst fake seizure I have ever seen. Knock it off.
No! You don't understand! The impossible Jesus.
I want to make sure you're okay.
Stop!
Breathe. Oh, then stop pretending to have a seizure. You don't have a seizure. Because you're not having a seizure.
You saved her! You're a hero! He brought her back!
I'm sorry.
Stop.
Oh shit, the aftermath of the seizure, it's coming! Man, that is an interesting looking gun.
Unload this.
This looks like one of those gadgets that old YouTube channel would bring on. I forgot the name of it now. The guy that would have like the wacky little illusions and tell you how they work. That's a cool little firearm there. I haven't seen that before.
Deep breath.
The noisy cricket. True.
Make sure she doesn't have any other guns on there. I'm still working on it because I don't want to get poked.
She is really regretting that fake seizure. No, I haven't seen that yet, Nord. Just go all the way and shock her. Yeah, imagine they get the defibrillator out.
Yes or no? It's not illegal to. Just tell me the truth. Were you just faking a seizure or not? Were you just faking a seizure? Okay. You're gonna put your hands up. So do you need this Narcan or not? So I won't waste my life-saving medical supplies on this bullshit.
Wait, we're not sure yet. We might need it.
Like, I didn't know it was a real gun. It doesn't look like anything I've ever seen.
I'm gonna tell you one thing, officer. Far be it from me to question your tactics. This is like the worst way to be trying to unload a gun that you don't know if it has a round in or not. He is literally... Holy shit. That is crazy. Oh my god, he's been fiddling with it for a few minutes now, and I think he's just getting so fed up that he's just throwing caution to the wind. Basically staring down the barrel of this puppy here. Like, I know it's like a 22, but that can still kill you.
You're being questioned. If you can't afford to hire one will be appointed to represent you prior to questioning if you wish. Do you understand your rights as I've explained them to you?
Yeah, he said it might.
Okay.
Also, do you mind helping me open this gun?
Having your rights in mind, do you want to make a statement?
I can't quite figure it out. This puzzle's confusing.
I went to go check out and see what that burnt house looked like.
The burnt house.
I was just looking at the burnt house.
Okay.
I didn't break in.
Why do you need the UPS disguise?
Is it your house?
No, I just heard about it. They said it was super fried, and I just wanted to look at it.
How long have you been here?
But what about the UPS uniform?
Hour and a half, tops.
Okay. So the people that said you've been here for 8 hours are lying to me.
I promise on everything. Like, I'm not going to lie to you again.
Where'd you get the UPS costume?
My friend had it.
Why are you wearing it?
I just feel like people won't, like, look at me. I just wanted to see the
to
house.
conceal your presence in the neighborhood, you're dressed like a UPS driver.
Well, yeah, but
so
I wasn't
what are you doing that you're not supposed to be
anything.
doing if you need to dress in a disguise?
Well, I just didn't want it to draw any attention when I was looking at the house.
Where did you get this gun?
I don't see how that helps mitigate it, to be honest with you. Like, it's not like it's normal procedure for a UPS driver to just walk behind people's houses in their backyards. Like, hey, buddy, I was gonna leave this at your front porch, but I was a little afraid of porch pirates, so don't worry, I'm walking around through your pool screen here to drop it off. Like, it's a stupid idea. Like, it's not even like a good disguise. Doesn't make any sense.
Like, hidden, like, over by one of the...
This is... Watching him handle this gun is fascinating.
I did not know that was real, sir.
There we go.
I'm a felon.
And it was loaded.
It's real, it's loaded. So why are you carrying it around on you?
But I don't think Buddy recognized how close he could have come to meeting his maker here. That shit was loaded the whole time. Just before he unloads it, look at this. Look at the way he's handling this. They could easily pull that trigger down and he is still pointing it at himself. That's crazy how lucky he got. Holy! He's handling this like he's doing inspect animations on a knife in Counter-Strike. He got so lucky.
There's drug addicts and stuff there all the time. Like, I don't know if someone stole it or what.
Okay, so this is clearly labeled as a firearm. It says high standard Derringer 22 Magnum.
I didn't look at it.
You didn't, but you put it in your pocket, right?
Yeah, it looked cool. As an antique piece.
Why do you have handcuffs?
Because I'm a fuck up, guys.
No, that doesn't make any sense. Why do you have handcuffs?
Citizen's arrest,
You're
sir.
a fuck up. Why are you carrying a pair of handcuffs around in disguise, wearing gloves, carrying a gun?
Oh, it's...
It doesn't look good, does it?
No, man.
What is this?
Man, it's a insurance put back together. I don't want to go back to prison, sir.
That's not up to me, whether you go back to prison or not.
Can you not send me to jail? Like, I'll do anything.
Insane loadout.
So here's the problem.
So true.
Okay, is you're in a neighborhood you don't live in, dressed in disguise.
With like a noisy Cricket 22, 5 pocket knives, and a UPS uniform. True.
Dressed like a UPS driver. What the fuck are you doing?
I don't know. I'm bored. I don't have any
You're
friends.
bored?
I don't-
It looks like you're fixing to kidnap somebody.
Yeah, it actually does look like that. This is also the deepest pocket of all time. There's over 100 items in there.
Back there, I did not know that. A lot of serious drug addicts.
She's acknowledged that she was faking the seizure. If you're good with that verbal, then there doesn't need to be any evaluation.
No, just it can come on at any time. We're not sure yet.
Okay, you're gonna have a seat in the back of the car, and just so you're aware, there's a camera back there filming you. You're under arrest for felon in possession of a firearm.
If only she had worn a different disguise, it could have all been avoided. Like a Domino's disguise or something, maybe. Poor planning. Gets you every time.
For the cameras at the burnt down house.
Oh.
And she did admit to being at the burnt down house.
So this is, so I see this.
Yeah.
So she's going all the way, right? Going there. And then there.
I'll go talk to her.
Do you even need to talk to her further? We have her in like 4 different angles doing illegal shit. Like, is there even a reason? Alright, I mean, why not? Hey, by the way, we have the footage of you knocking down that camera over there.
I thought you told me you didn't go in that burned down house.
I didn't. I just walked into
Homeowner's got video of you.
I didn't go inside
There's
of it.
cameras there.
I did not
What are you
go
doing on the
inside of it.
property?
I was just looking at it.
Why? Is it your house?
No, sir.
Then why are you looking at it?
I didn't go inside.
You went on the property? For what?
I was just looking at the burnt stuff. I
For
didn't
what?
go inside.
Why?
To scavenge.
I was bored.
Alright.
There could be good loot.
And possession.
That was a fascinating body cam.
On February
I do wonder what her plan was. It probably was break and entering, right? Like, that was probably the idea.
16th, 2025, deputies responded to a report on a suspicious
Try and
person
steal some
wearing
shit.
a UPS uniform who was prowling around the neighborhood. During the investigation, deputies found a firearm on the suspect, along with burglary tools.
Yeah, that had to be the idea. But why during the day like that in the uniform? I think she's just a fucking idiot. I think that's as simple as it gets there. She probably thought the UPS uniform would be a good, like, alibi if someone confronts her out back when she's casing the joint. She'd be like, "Oh, I'm with UPS! What? What's the problem?" Yeah, I know what you're thinking. When did Charles learn how to smolder like this? My god, 31-year-old man still stuns the old-fashioned way. Well, it's because today, for some reason, the internet has decided to feed me beauty-related news. Don't know why. Haven't searched up anything. Like, the closest thing I looked up to anything even remotely associated with that topic was, like, melatonin supplements, I guess. But I don't know if melatonin helps you glow or whatever. I don't know how that would build a bridge to beauty-related articles and everything, but whatever. One of them that got served to me I found to be so fascinating that I just have to talk about. Influencer suffers from severe chemical burns after attempting to remove facial parasite. So you can see on the right there, it's still in the process of healing, but it looks as though she had briefly peeked into the Ark of the Covenant and singed the lower half of her face off. And it's because she put Nair directly on her face to combat this supposed parasite that she is now named Caroline. It's a really interesting adventure here that I stumbled upon. So this is Brandi Glanville. She was a star in a show called Real Housewives, as well as a couple of other productions, and she has since become an online influencer. And apparently in 2023, she started experiencing symptoms that resulted in facial disfigurement and was later diagnosed with stress-induced angioedema, which causes facial swelling. And according to an Instagram post, it presented itself after a trip with her friends, and since then, she has now claimed that it is actually a facial parasite that is causing the facial disfigurement, so now she has waged war against it and has given the enemy a name, Caroline. That is the Voldemort for which she has sworn revenge, and recently used biological warfare against it with Nair cream on her face.
Okay guys, I'm getting back to you because I don't know how to do TikTok and I know I look attractive. So, good news, you guys don't have to spend a lot of money on peels and lasers anymore because I decided to put Nair on my face because when I have an exfoliated face, it pisses the Caroline off, whoever's living in my face. Just right here right now and right here. And then she moved up here when I did the Nair. And yeah, but you know what I mean. So, Nair is the fountain of youth. I figured it out, but I overdid it. 7 minutes, don't do it. But right now, my mom, because she trusts me.
She then proceeds to talk about her mom being there. But anyway, she thinks there's a parasite living in her face, which is why she's taken such drastic action against it. Though there is no evidence to support that claim, there is nothing to suggest she has a facial parasite. Now, of course, I'm not her doctor and haven't conducted an exam myself here. Maybe it is entirely possible she got bitten by the radioactive spider that gave Spider-Man his powers. I have no way of knowing, but from an uneducated Neanderthal's perspective, sitting in his swamp-ass chair, I decided to look into it myself a little bit. And to me, this sounds like delusional parasitosis. Again, this comes from a Cro-Magnon man, but it does sound like a textbook example of this, a condition in which a person has a fixed false belief that they are infected by an organism despite evaluation not showing an infection be present. This refers to things like bugs living under their skin, parasites, worms, mites, that kind of thing, even though there is no doctor-supported evidence of it. So now with this belief in her head, she's going scorched earth on her own face. So she's carpet bombed it with Nair, which has clearly done a lot of damage to it. I don't think it'll be permanent. I imagine it'll probably heal fine. But again, I'm no expert on chemical burns, Nair, or pretty much anything, to be honest. Though I just have to imagine with that whole, like, Nairing your butthole thing, I think the body's pretty resilient when it comes to it. It's just not good to use it on your face and other areas that it's not intended to be used on. I did also see people speculating that this could be Brandi covering up a laser job or an injection gone wrong or something like that. This could all be a false flag operation and using Nair as the scapegoat here, like, oh, I tried to attack Caroline with Nair and look what happened. I don't know if I necessarily buy into that conspiracy theory, just judging by the way she talks about it. She is named the parasite, which, yeah, on the surface is kind of quirky, but it also, to me, kind of represents something a little more unhealthy beneath the surface here. She's already, like, from the sound of things, disregarding the medical diagnoses and instead has self-diagnosed as having a facial parasite, and now even after the whole Nair debacle here, is claiming that Caroline dodged it and went up to her forehead now, but it made her angry. Like, she's talking about this fucking thing like it's the Demogorgon here. Like, again, something that there is no evidence to support its existence. I don't think this is her, like, making a cover story or anything like that. I don't think it's her trolling, especially judging by the description here. Beauty hacks. This is a good one, but do a test patch. I did 7 minutes and I'm on fire. So, Joko. What? So, oh, that's not a J. So, Ioko. Don't to 7 minutes. It also burned the loose skin off my arms and it's $7. Mix up some aloe vera, cucumber, and black tea, put it in the freezer, put it in the spray bottle, and once it's cold enough, spray all day because I'm in some pain. Reading it in my head, it didn't clock with me just how messy that description was. Reading it out loud was painful. I was like fucking reading Haunting Adeline out loud. I had a hard time getting through that. It was all over the place. That actually read like unhinged scribblings. But what she is saying here is that she has found Nair, used it, but was too aggressive with it, but still is preaching about Nair as like a good thing to try for like exfoliants in like chemical peels, when it's not a good thing for that at all. But she's even giving a tutorial like, I did 7 minutes, but don't do that. Instead, use aloe, cucumber, black tea, freeze it, and then spray it, and you're good to go. Do not follow that advice. I urge you not to make the same mistake she did of like narrowing all of your sensitive spots. You're gonna not have a good time. I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna be singing the blues on it, I bet. But the reason I'm even mentioning the description here is none of this leads me to believe that she's taking the piss. None of this seems like it's her making a joke or something. She is like actively trying to give advice on like using Nair on your face, which is a bad thing to do. I do think this is a case of delusional parasitosis, and when I looked up Brandy Glanville plus Caroline to see like if the name had any meaning, turns out it does. It seems like she named this facial parasite she believes she has after a real person, Caroline Manzo, who filed a lawsuit against Bravo, which was a station where this show was airing, Real Housewives. Caroline filed a lawsuit against Bravo for sexual harassment and assault that she allegedly experienced from her co-star Brandy Glanville. I couldn't believe the depth of the lore here, so I went even deeper into the rabbit hole. I then even checked out bits and pieces of the podcast, and then I also read this article which covered more of the podcast, where Brandy was talking more in depth about it all. She was opening up about how hard her life has been since the allegations from Caroline Manzo were made public. She revealed that she had contemplated suicide during it, also opened up about her facial disfigurement. She maintains her innocence, that she didn't do any of the things that Caroline is claiming, but she apparently lost several jobs, including one lined up in Australia. And she said, and then I lost my looks at the same time. I literally at 51 started OnlyFans because I didn't have income for 6 months and I was like going through my savings. I was making good money and then my face started being crazy. She was apparently using a mask to hide her face, but then the fans over there were asking that she not use the mask. At the time she didn't have a diagnosis. Eventually she did get the diagnosis, but now, fast forward to today, she now believes it's actually all caused by a facial parasite, which she is battling with Nair, giving herself severe chemical burns on her face now to try and fight against the supposed parasite. This was a wild ride. Again, I don't know what I did to make the internet algorithm think that I wanted to be fed beauty influencer related news and articles. Maybe it knows I hit 31 and it thinks that I need to start doing things to take better care of my looks. I have no clue what it's trying to suggest, but I'm kind of happy this one floated across to me because this was one hell of a thing to learn about. Don't put Nair on your face, though. A lesson to all out there. That's really about it. So yeah. I don't know if this is like a big fiery debate or if I just got thrust into like a very tiny pocket of hostility, but there is right now a raging battle of people debating whether or not balding is real. Kind of. That's the statement that started it. That was like the shot heard around the world for this topic.
I don't believe in male balding.
Why?
First of all, if you're a male and you want to go bald, that's fine, like good for you. However, if you're a male and you don't want to go bald and you're balding anyway, that's where I take issue.
That opening line right there, I don't believe in male balding, actually reached through the fucking phone screen and tickled me. I was smiling. It goes so hard. I don't believe in male balding. Shit is a myth. It's like a cryptid, almost. I've never seen a bald man. No such thing. That's a goddamn lie. That's a deep state hoax right there. That's like 5G. I don't know. I love that. It just slaps. It's not exactly what she's saying, but it's how she lays the foundation. The point she's making is that she believes that balding is a solved problem. And if there's anyone who is bald without wanting to be bald, it's due to their laziness. It's fundamentally what she's getting at. She's saying, like, if you're bald and you choose to be bald, yippee, good for you, she says. But if you're balding and you don't want to be balding, well, you're just lazy.
Because women in this day and age have to do so much to upkeep their looks, and men cannot be bothered to just put some cream on their head or take a little vitamin or get a hair transplant even. Women are doing more than that.
So her point is, compared to female beauty standards, men balding is a significantly easier issue to tackle. You can really grab that one by the fucking nipples and solve it with creams and pills and hair transplants. And if you are balding and don't want to be, well, you're just a gluttonous sloth who's too lazy to fix this problem. And that's kind of the gist of it. I don't think she's super knowledgeable on how expensive like hair transplants are. They are not cheap, especially in today's day and age. Also, being put on medication, also not super cheap. So, like, yeah, you can get, like, the finasteride, the minoxidil, and, like, the combo there. Get it with the fucking 2-piece. And from everything I understand about it, it seems to work to some degree. It varies person to person, obviously, because not everyone's just a fucking clone. So, it doesn't work for everybody, but it does work a little bit for some people, and for others, more so. But it's never like the cure to baldness, as I understand it. There's not like a magic pill. Like, there's no like Phoenix down for your hair. Like, you can't, chug your way to a full head of hair again. Like, it is tough, and it is very expensive. And she's saying women do significantly more than this, but men can't even be bothered to do the bare minimum of stopping the balding with these pills, creams, and hair transplants. Again, there's not exactly, like, it's not Courage the Cowardly Dog where Eustace gets that handful of shit and can rub it on his head to fix the baldness, which ultimately led to other problems. Again, a lot of the medication does have, like, side effects and stuff, too. Like, it's not exactly the easiest thing. And I recognize that for women, there are a lot of things they go through for the sake of, like, the beauty standards that are put upon them that are also very difficult. But I don't think those should be celebrated either. I don't think there's anything good from putting this pressure on women or men to adhere to the beauty standards that people think they should.
More stigma for guys to do beauty products, and that includes like hairline stuff. Guys are like more generally insecure about doing stuff like that because they're not really supposed to. Beauty products, we were sold that that's a girl's thing, not a guy's thing.
I don't know how much of an excuse that is. There's not as much pressure on men in society as there is on women to upkeep their looks, and they just kind of get resigned to the fact that they're going bald, versus if you ask any single woman something that's happening to their looks that they don't like, they will go ahead and fix it, whether it's like an at-home DIY solution to like professional, super expensive treatments.
Now in the comment section, everybody was dunking on the guy here, saying that he was mansplaining and not listening, and that he's like not even engaging in the conversation, and everyone is on her side about how she's, out here spitting and shitting the truth. Like, these are all facts that she is speaking about baldness not being real and easily solvable. I don't think he did anything wrong. He's right. There is a stigma around men using, like, toupees or wigs, because then it's kind of like, I'm 5'6", right? A lot of people joke around like, just go get height surgery. Well, the people that get height surgery are constantly fucking clowned on. They get dunked on more than me at 5'6" when I play pickup basketball. Like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. I get made fun of all the time for being short. It is what it is. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Sometimes you gotta play with the hand you're dealt. My dad is 6'5". Man stole all the height genes from our lineage and then kicked the ladder out from under him. Can't do shit about it. I gotta live with it. So, like, I can stay 5'6", and I'm comfortable with it. I make jokes about it, but at the end of the day, I can't fucking change it without going and getting, like, life-changing surgery that'll have me debilitated for, like, 2 fucking years as my bones reform in my shins. I'm not going to do that. But if I did, I would be insulted for being so insecure about my height that I went through those extreme lengths to change it. And it's the same thing for bald men. You'll see this a lot, where like a bald guy will put on a toupee and it's not like the most optimal one. It's pretty clear he's wearing a toupee. People will make fun of him for being so insecure with that. And it's the same thing with other male beauty products that you'll see. There is a stigma around it. I don't know why she's pretending that doesn't exist. That's a very common and like really socially acceptable thing to make fun of a guy for, if he's trying to like fix baldness or something and it's not like perfect, you know what I mean? And while I agree with her that the standards for women are higher than that of men, it's not like it doesn't exist for men. As I mentioned, I'm 5'6". There are innumerable women that want nothing to do romantically with a guy my size, petite, fun-sized men like me. And that's okay. Like, it is what it is. Like, I understand that. Like, but the point is, there is a pressure on men, at least to some degree, to a lesser degree than women, but it is there. And what she's reinforcing here is the idea that men have to continuously adhere to an ever-increasing pressure on beauty standards, which is very similar to what women have gone through for a long time. And I think both of these things here are not good. Like, it's not something to encourage and, like, pump your fist about as, like, a celebratory thing. I think it's a bad direction. So the guy's not saying anything wrong here. I don't know why he's getting spit on so much in the comment section. He's just saying, like, hey, you know, there's like a stigma that exists around it, so not every guy's going to be all gung-ho and like enthusiastic about going and spending thousands upon thousands of dollars on creams and pills that aren't super efficacious, as well as spending thousands and thousands of dollars on a potential hair transplant that might not work super well or might not look all that great. Like, it's tricky, and it's a tough situation to be in. And to her point about female beauty standards and how much women go through to uphold, like, the female beauty standards that have been put on them for so many years now, she's not wrong in that perspective. But I don't know why it has to be a battle. I don't know why she needs to now start shaming men for not conforming to male beauty standards that are being put upon them. Like, yes, there are significantly more for women, but it's not like men are just allowed to be slobs forever. In fact, I don't know how many of you remember this, Don Tolliver just took a picture with, or had his picture taken with his girlfriend once, and the entire internet was insulting him for like 3 full days about how ugly he is and how shameful it is for her to be with him. And Don Tolliver, I don't even think is like a really unattractive looking guy. Like, there is still a pressure on men to look good, because they will also be insulted. That is the way the entire culture of, like, beauty has shifted, where everyone is expected to uphold, like, crazy standards, right? Now, of course, I do think it is still more for women, but it's not like it's non-existent for men. And I don't think balding is some kind of fabrication, some kind of made-up concept in that it's an easily solvable problem. It's not. And I also think that it's very hypocritical of her to take this stance that bald men are lazy by not going through all of these procedures to try and fix it, because women will go through tons of procedures for things they don't like. So, like, BBL or something, or a boob job. But I would also argue that men that are trying to tell women that they need to fix their flat ass, or like, small titties aren't real, you're just lazy, are equally in the wrong for having that perspective. Like, if this video is completely flipped and it was some frat bro sitting there going like, yeah, bro, I actually don't believe in A-cups. Like, honkers of that size, I think are just, like, actually made up, make-believe. Like, just go get a boob job. Like, go take some biotin or something. Like, I'd equally be clowning on him for that perspective, too. Like, enforcing those kind of beauty standards and insulting people that don't, like, conform to it, I think is a bad thing. Like, for women and for men.
Girls have a lot of pressure to be valued based off their beauty, and guys have a lot of pressure to be valued more on how useful they are. And so guys kind of have an excuse. Like, Jeff Bezos does not have to have hair if he doesn't want to, because he has all the money in the world.
I know what you mean, but like, I wouldn't want to be with Jeff Bezos. He's old.
What advice do you have for people that are dating?
If they're wearing a hat, it might mean they're balding and self-conscious about it. So I would press and see if they're doing anything about that.
I love that signing off advice from her right there. If you're with a guy who's wearing a hat, this is a clear indicator that there might be some balding under there that he's very self-conscious about, so poke the fuck out of it. Make sure to interrogate, and if necessary, rip that hat right off and reveal the magician's secret underneath. There could be a chrome dome, and then you need to ask, well, what's he doing about it? I don't know, to me that just really rubs me the wrong way, because again, if you flip this, let's say it's a guy saying like, if you're with a girl who's wearing baggy pants, it might be a clear indicator of a not being super cheeked up. There might not be enough cake under there. So make sure to, like, press her on it. Like, what's she doing about that? Are you hitting squats? Are you getting a BBL anytime soon? Like, what's the regimen to fix this? That's just as bad. Like, I think this whole idea of these beauty standards being forced upon women and men are just getting even more out of control in the current climate, and it's just a complete race to the bottom. I'm very surprised to see how much support there was behind her statements, because I find it to be kind of hypocritical, but again, this is a debate that I don't know how big the topic is. I just find it very odd now, where she's coming out here and, like, shaming dudes for being insecure about balding, but then not fixing it. Like, there are so many extenuating factors that could play into that for why they can't fix it. Like, maybe they have tried all the creams. Maybe they've spent tons and tons of money trying to combat this problem to no avail. Like, there are so many things to take into account. If you want to do things to your body that make you happier and more comfortable, then go right ahead. But to do it because other people think that it's expected of you, I think is horrible. Like some people that are like feeling pressure to get a buccal fat removal procedure or some shit like that because that's like the beauty trend. It's just not good. And it does exist for men too, to a lesser degree. I agree with her that women have definitely had more pressure on them when it comes to the beauty standard, but it's not like it is, you know, non-existent when it comes to men as well. As evident by this take here that has a lot of support about how, like, men who are bald, they're just lazy, they gotta fix it. If they're self-conscious about baldness and doing nothing about it, they're lazy. In fact, rip their hat off to double check to make sure they're not bald and insecure. And like, it's just... I don't love that, and I was pretty surprised that this debate was so split. Well, not even split, most people were on her side with the take. It was just surprising as all. Anyway, I've been yapping about this for a while, when really it might just be a full-blown nothing burger of a topic where I got roped into like the fucking gravitational pull of the debate, like the actual epicenter. No idea, but I found it to be interesting nonetheless. That's about it. See ya.